So, good afternoon. First year Bcom Computer Applications, Semester 2. First year Bcom Computer Applications, Semester 2, Unit 2, Programming in C and C++. Unit 2. Unit 2 is Control Statements. Control Statements in C language. Today we start with another PPT. Only there are 3 essay type questions only, which are coming from second unit. First essay type is what are explain about control statements. Second one is explain about conditional statements, and the third one is explain about loops or looping statements. So totally control statements is a compulsory essay type question, which is coming from unit 2. So we start with another PPT. So unit 2, control statements. So what are the learning objectives, means what are the which topics this PPT covered? It means understanding and meaning of a statement and statement block, means what is a statement or what is a command, what is a statement block. Learn about decision type control constructs in C. So this is the topic, control statements chapter 2, unit 2. So learn about decision type control constructs in C and the way these are used. Learn about looping type control structures in C, means learning about loops and looping statements. And special control constructs such as go to, break, continue and others. And nested loops, what are nested loops and others. So as we already discussed in the previous topics or previous PPTs or previous class, control statements are 3 types, or basically there are 2 types, but in this PPT it is they will tell 3 types. So first one is selection statements, second one is iteration statements, third one is jump or jumping statements. So first one is selection statements. Selection statements are conditional statements. They are also called as conditional statements. So control statements are basically control statements are 2 types, conditional statements, and second one is loops or looping statements. Control statements are basically 2 types, conditional statements and loops or looping statements. So conditional statements are also called as, are known as selection statements. So what are selection statements? If else, switch. If else, switch. These 3 are called as conditional statements or selection statements. So why they said selection statements, or why they said conditional statements, means these 3 statements are generally used to test a given condition. These 3 statements in C language are generally used to test a given condition, whether the given condition is true or false. It is a compulsory essay type question. There is only one essay type question in this second unit, that is control statements. So control statements are basically 2 types, conditional statements and second one is loops or looping statements. So conditional statements are also called as selection statements. So there are 3 types of conditional statements are used. First one is if statement, second one is if else statement, third one is switch statement. So basically these 3 statements are used to test a given condition. Basically these 3 statements or commands are used to test a given condition, whether if the given condition is true or false. If it is true means if the given condition is true, then a set of statements are executed. else if the given condition is false, then another set of statements are executed. So if else, switch, these three statements are called as conditional statements. Second is iteration statements. Iteration means loops. Iteration statements are loops or looping statements. Second type of control statements are called as iteration statements, loops or looping statements. For example, so what is a loop? What is the definition of a loop? Loop means, what is a loop or looping statement? It means a set of statements or a group of statements which are repeatedly executed for a fixed number of times, or for a until the given condition becomes true or false. So what is a iteration statement? What is an iteration statement or a loop or looping statement? The loop is nothing but a set of statements or a group of statements which are executed repeatedly until and unless the given condition becomes ట్రూ ఆర్ ఫాల్స్. సో ఏదైనా ఒక ఇచ్చిన కండిషన్ని ట్రూ అయినంత వరకు లేదా ఇచ్చిన కండిషన్ ఫాల్స్ అయినంత వరకు ఈ లూప్స్ లేదా ఇటరేషన్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ అనేవి వర్క్ అవుతాయి. లేదా ఒక ఫిక్స్డ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టెంట్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ని ఏదైనా ఒక స్టేట్మెంట్స్ని సెట్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ని మనం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయడానికి కూడా ఈ లూప్స్ అనేవి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతాయి. సో వాట్ ఆర్ లూపింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఆర్ ఇటరేషన్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్? ఫర్ లూప్, వైల్ లూప్, డూ వైల్ లూప్. So what are the looping statements in C language? For loop, while loop. First one is for loop, while loop, do while loop. So third category of control statements are called as jump or jumping statements. Examples are go to, break, continue, return. So all these statements are called as control statements. Control statement is the compulsory essay type question. Which is coming from unit 2, that is control statements. So we discuss all these statements one by one with some syntax examples like that. So next, program control statements are constructs in C language. So what are the different control statements? What are the different types of control statements available in C language that we discuss here? So program control statements or constructs are basically two types: selection or branching statements, iteration or looping statements. Iteration and looping statements. So here the selection or branching statements are again two types: conditional statements and unconditional statements. So what are conditional statements? If statement, if else statement, if else if statement, switch statement. All these are called as conditional statements. Unconditional statements means break, continue, go to. Unconditional statements means break, continue, go to. Again iteration or looping statements. Again, in iteration and looping statements are three types: for loop, while loop, do while loop. Iteration or loops or looping statements are three types: for loop, while loop, do while loop. So this is the different types of control statements or conditional statements. So basically control statements are two types: selection statements or conditional statements or branching statements. Second one is iterations, loops or looping statements. So all these control statements have a common point called test a given condition. To test a given condition. So what is a definition? What is the definition, or what is the condition? What is a condition? how to test a given condition, like that. So what is a condition? A condition is nothing but, what is a condition? A condition is nothing but it is a test case. A condition is nothing but it is a test case used to test whether the given expression is true or false. For example, simple example is, if 1 is greater than 2, the condition is 1 is greater than 2, means generally the conditions returns either true or false. Generally the test conditions may return either true or false value. Is 1 is greater than 2, is it true or false? Generally it is false. 1 is not greater than 2, so it is a false condition. So testing is one of the important component. Testing of an expression or a testing of the given case is an important component in the control statements. So what is a test? Test is nothing but it is some expression. What is a test case or what is a test? Test is nothing but it is an expression. It is an expression used to test the given condition whether it is true or false. Generally the test conditions may return either true or false conditions based on the value of the condition. Means if it is true, then set of statements are executed, and if it is false, another set of statements are executed. So to use or to give or to test a given condition or expression, we may use some type of operators. These operators are called as relational operators. These type of operators are called as relational operators. As we already discussed in the previous classes, there are 3 different types of 5 to 6 types of operators are available in C language. So there are 5 to 6 types of operators are available in C language. What are they? First one is arithmetic operators, means plus, minus, star, slash, like that. Relational operators, so like less than, greater than, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, equals to, not equals to. Logical operators, means and, or, not. Fourth one is bitwise operators, and fifth one is special operators. So these are the 6 types of operators are used in C language. That is also a compulsory essay type question. So this slide explains about the different types of operators. This slide explains about the different types of operators in C. So to test a given condition or to test the condition, these operators are generally used. What are they? Less than, greater than, double equals to, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, not equals to, ampersand, double vertical bar, not equals to, and not. These are the different types of operators. These are called as operators in C language. Less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, double equals to. So there is a difference between a single equals to and double equals to. Similarly, equals to and not equals to, and or not. So these are the different types of operators in C language. So relational operators and equity and logical operators. So as we already told you that there are 5 types of operators, 5 to 6 types of operators in C language. First one is arithmetic operators, second one is relational operator, third one is logical operators, fourth one is bitwise operators, special operators, like that. Similarly, sixth one is increment and decrement operators. So first of all, relational operators. What are relational operators? Means less than, greater than, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to. So what are relational operators? Relational operators are less than, greater than, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, and not equals to, like that. So why we require relational operators means relational operators are generally used to compare. Relational operators are generally used to compare two or more values. Relational operators are generally used to compare two or more values, variables, expressions, and conditions, constants, etc. So example is A is greater than B, B is less than C, A is not equals to B, like that. Equality and logical operators. Equality and logical operators means what are equality and logical operators? Means to specify equals to. Single equals to is assignment operator. Single equals to is an assignment operator, whereas double equals to is a comparison operator. Single equals to is an equals assignment operator, whereas double equals to is a comparison operators. So not equals to. Not equals to means question mark equals to. Not equals to means not equals to means question mark equals to. And logical operators. What are logical operators? And logical and, double ampersand, logical or, and negation. Negation is question mark. Negation is exclamatory or question mark. Logical or means two vertical bars. Logical and means two ampersand symbols. So these are called as equality and logical operators. So here are some important points regarding operators. So these are some examples. The following declarations and initializations are given. For example, if int x is equals to 1, comma y is equals to 2, comma z is equals to 3, then the expression x is greater than or equals to y, then the expression x is greater than or equals to y evaluates to 0, false. The expression x plus y equals to 3 means here, if for example int x is equals to 1, comma y is equals to 2, comma z is equals to 3, what is x is greater than or equals to y means is it true or false? 1 is greater than or equals to 2, 1 is greater than or equals to 2 means it is false, means 0. And x plus y, x plus y is equals to 3, x plus y is equals to 3, true or false? Means it is true. So and is x is equals to y, is x is equals to y, it means. So logical operators. So logical operators, as we already discussed with, what are logical operators? Logical operators are three: and, or, not. And, or, not. Not is an exponential operator. Not means exponential operator. And means double ampersand operator. And or means vertical bars, two vertical bars. So or means two vertical bars, and means double ampersand operator, not means exclamatory operator, not means an exclamatory. Logical operators may be mixed within relational expressions, but one must abide by their precedence rules, which is as follows. So logical operators. What are logical operators? Three logical operators are used: and, or, not. And means double ampersand, not, or means double vertical bar, not means exclamatory, not means exclamatory. So operators, what are the different types of operators? What are the different types of operators used in C language? This also we already discussed in the previous class. This is also one of the setup question in C language. So there are 5 to 6 types of operators. There are 5 to 6 types of operators are available in C language. First one is arithmetic operators: plus, minus, star, slash, percentage, like that. Second one is relational operators: less than or equals to, not equals to, like that. And logical operators means and or not, and or not, and bitwise operators and special operators. So these operators generally have some precedence or some sequence to follow. Generally they are evaluated from left to right. Some are from right to left and some are executed from left to right, and these operators have special meaning to C language. So there are many operators like brackets, plus, plus, minus, plus, minus, and less the left shift, right shift, double equals to, not equals to, ampersand, double ampersand, not, double ampersand, or ternary operators, comma operators, like this. So conditional execution and selection. So what are conditional statements? What are conditional statements and selection statements? So basically conditional and execution statements are three types. The first one is selection statements, or simple selection statements are also called as conditional statements, and the conditional operator and switch statement. So what are selection statements? Selection statements are different ways, different types. One-way decisions, two-way decision making. If one-way decision using if statement, it is also called a simple if statement. Two-way decisions using if-else statement. Multiple way decisions, multi-way or multiple way decisions by like switch statements, or multiple if statements, like that. So all these are the different selection statements or selection conditional statements. So one-way decisions using if statement. So how an if statement or a simple if statement is executed. How a simple if statement is running or executed. First of all, so this is the flowchart for if statement construct. So first of all, the given text expression. Or text condition is tested whether it is true or false. If it is true, then statement T is executed and the control simply goes out of the loop if statement. So the syntax is if text expression, then statement T, if it is true. So here it is a simple program. Write a program that prints the largest among three numbers. So this program is used to find out the minimum of to find out the maximum of largest among three given numbers. So in the left side it is the algorithm corresponding the algorithm for the problem, and in the right side the corresponding C program is there. So first of all you have to write the algorithm. So first, number one is start, number two print, enter three numbers, number three input three numbers A, B, C, number four here you take another variable max is equals to A, number 5 if B is greater than max, then max is equals to B, number 6 if C is greater than max, then max is equals to C, number 7 print largest number is max, number 8 is stop. So the corresponding C program is hash include stdio.h int main bracket open int A, B, C, max, printf within quotes slash and enter three numbers, scanf %d, comma ampersand A, comma ampersand B, comma ampersand C, max is equals to A. If B is greater than max, then max is equals to B. If C is greater than max, then max is equals to C. Printf largest number is %d, comma max, return 0. So this is the corresponding C program to find out the maximum of three given numbers. So next is two-way decisions. What are two-way decisions? Using if-else statements, or how to use if-else, how to work if-else statement. So this is the two-way decisions using if-else statement. So how to run an if-else statement? How to use or how to run an if-else statement? So this is the flowchart of using if-else statement. So first of all, the given text expression is tested. The given text expression or the given condition is tested first. If it is true, then statement 2 is executed, and if it is false, statement F is executed, and after that both the statements or both the conditions are go to some common point. So this is the working of a test expression. This is the working of a test expression or a given if else statement. This is the working of the given if else expression. So the form of a two-way decision is as follows. The form of a two-way decision is as follows. The form of a two-way decision is as follows. First of all, so the syntax is if text expression, then statement T, else statement F, semicolon. So if first of all the given test expression is tested, and if it is true, then statement T is executed, else statement false is executed. So this is the syntax of giving testing a given testing a if else statement. So this is another program. This is another example or another program using if else statement, using if else statement to find out maximum of 3 given numbers, to find out maximum of 3 given numbers. So next is multi-way decisions. It is called as if else if ladder. It is called as if else if ladder or a multiple if statements. It is called as if else if ladder or multiple if statements. So in this expression or in this way, first of all test expression 1 is tested. If it is true, statement 1 is executed, else if test expression 2 is executed, then statement 2 is executed. If tested, if test expression 2 is tested and statement 2 is executed, else if test expression 3 is executed, then if it is true, then statement 3 is executed, like that. Else if test expression n is executed, else if test expression n is executed, and if it is true, then statement n is executed, else statement f is executed. So this is the working of a multiple if statements. This is the working of a multiple if statement. If multiple if statements are executed, it is called as if else if ladder or multiple if statements. It is called as if else if ladder, if else if ladder or multiple if statements. So this is one of the conditional statements. Another conditional statement is called as switch statement. What is a switch statement? So another control statement is a switch statement. What is switch statement? Switch statement is used to test a given expression or a variable based on its value. Based on its value. For example, if suppose if you take if a is equals to 1, so do something. If a is equals to 2, do something. If a is equals to 3, do something, like that. So switch is a multiple. Switch statement is also called as a multiple if statement or multi-valued if statement. So syntax is switch within brackets some variable or expression. Syntax is switch within brackets some variable or expression. Case constant 1 colon statement 1 semicolon break. Case constant 2 colon statement 2 semicolon break. Case constant 3 colon statement list 3 semicolon break, and etc. and default statement n semicolon. So if any of the constants or any of the values of the switch statement is not matched, then default statements are executed. So there are two types of, here we are using two types of statements. First one is if else if statement, if else if ladder or if else if statement, and switch statements. These are also two of the general conditional statements or selection statements. So this is the flow chart of working of an if else if construct. So how to work or how to execute, how to run an if else if ladder or a multiple if statement. It is also called as a multiple if statement. So how to use or how to run a if else if construct or a if else if ladder. So if they give it test expression, so first of all it test for the given expression. If it is true, then it goes to test expression 2. If it is true, then it goes to test expression 3, like that. And if it is false, test expression is false, then statement 1 is executed. And if test expression 2 is false, then statement 2 is executed, like that. So this is the example program. The following program checks whether a number given by the user is 0, positive or number. So this is the program. To check if the given number is a positive number. Positive number means greater than 0. Negative number means less than 0 or 0. So by using multiple if statements or if else if statements. So this is the example program. This is the sample example program to find out. Whether the given number is positive number, negative number or 0. Positive number means it is the given number is greater than 0, then it is called as a positive number. Negative number means if the given number is less than 0, then it is a negative number, by using multiple if statements. So we start the program. Hash include std.h int main bracket open int x printf slash and enter the number scanf within quotes %d %x. So here there are two functions are used. First one is printf and second one is scanf. All are functions. These two are called as input output functions. Input and output functions. Printf is the output function. Or standard output function. Scanf is the standard input function. So printf and scanf. Printf is the standard output function. And scanf is the standard input function. So printf is generally used to print some number or print some message on the screen, whereas scanf is used to accept some number or input some number from the user into a variable. So after that we check for the variable x. So if x is greater than 0 means it is a positive number, then we simply print using printf, we display some message x is positive. Else if x is equals to 0, means it is a 0. So in printf x is 0. So this is the sample program. Another program which is it is used to test if the given number is positive, negative and 0. If the given number is a positive number, if the given number is a negative number, and if the given number is 0 or not. So nested if statements. So another type of if statement or another type of control statements, another type of conditional statement is called as nested if statement. What is a nested if statement? Nested if statement means an if statement contains another if statement. An if statement contains another if statements, or if statement have another if statement in it. So when any if statement is written under another if statement, this cluster is called as a nested if statement. The syntax for the nested if statement is given here. So construct one, example 1, example 2. So example 1, if test expression A and if test expression B, then statement B, else statement B, F, else statement A, F. Construct to if test expression A, if test expression B, statement like that. So what is a nested if statement? An if statement contains another if statement inside is called as nested if statements. So here it is another example of using. So this is a program and this is the flowchart. So a program to find the largest among three numbers using nested if statement. So this program contains this is the program using nested if statements to find out maximum of three given numbers, using nested if. So first of all, you see the this flowchart. So start, then read A, B, C, then we are using. So in flowchart, generally in flowchart there are different symbols are used. First symbol is a rectangular with the curved circle. It is called as used for start and end, and rectangular with parallelogram is generally used for input output statement. That is generally parallelograms are used for input and output statements like read and write and input. After that, is A is greater than B. Is A is greater than B means is A is greater than B means if A is greater than B, then A is, after that we may test for if A is greater than C. Both if A is greater than B and A greater than C, then A is the maximum, automatically A is the maximum value. So we simply print the A value. Suppose if A is greater than C is false, then C is the maximum value. So that we may simply print the C is the maximum value. And if A is not greater than B means A is greater than B is false, then we test for is B is greater than C or not. If it is yes, then B is the maximum value, otherwise automatically C is the maximum value. So after that, all these three outputs will be combinedly joined at end or stop symbol. So this is the flowchart. So this is the program. So how to write the program is for to find out the maximum of three given numbers using nested if statements. So hash include stdio.h, int main, after that int a comma b comma c, after that printf enter /n, enter any three numbers, scanf %d comma %a comma %b comma %c. After that we may use nested if statement. What is a nested if statement? An if statement if an if statement contains another if statement inside it, it is called as a nested if statement. So if A is greater than B, then if A is greater than C, then printf A is maximum, else C is maximum, else if suppose if A is not greater than A, not A is greater than B, then B, automatically we test for B and C. Then B, if B is greater than C, then printf %d B, else printf %d C, return 0. So this is the program, sample program. This is the program to find out the maximum of three given numbers. This is a program to find out maximum of three given numbers using. This is the sample program to find out maximum of three given numbers. To find out maximum of three given numbers using nested if statements or multiple if statements. Nested if statements or multiple if statement. So switch statement. So how to use a switch statement in C language? So switch statement is another type of conditional statement or control statements generally tested for multiple if statement values. So switch statement is generally used for multiple if test for multiple if statements. It is generally used for to test multiple if statements and multiple if statements. So by using a single variable or a single expression based on some condition or some constant. So the general format of a switch statement is, so the general format of a switch statement is switch expression bracket open, case constant 1 colon statement list 1 semicolon break, case constant 2 colon statement list 2 semicolon break, case constant 3 colon statement list 3 semicolon space break. last default colon statement list n. So this is the syntax of the switch statement. So how a switch statement is executed? In the switch statement, first of all, the variable is tested. The variable or the given expression or the given variable is tested whether it is tested for its value. And suppose its value is 1, then statement list 1 is executed. And if suppose the value is 2, then statement list 2 is executed. Suppose if the value is 3, then statement list 3 is executed. And at the end of each case statement, we may write semicolon, break, semicolon. So semicolon, break, semicolon is a must. What is the default statement? At last line it contains default. What is a default statement? Default is the default statement executed or runs whenever if any of the above conditions are not matched. Means the expression or variable is not matched with the constant 1, constant 2, constant 3, then automatically statement list n, the last line statement list n is automatically selected and executed. So this is the working of a switch statement. So this diagram explains about flowchart explains about switch statement. So if the expression equals to constant 1, then statement list 1. If false, next if expression is equals to constant 2, then statement list 2. If expression is equals to constant 3, then statement list 3. Default statement list 10. So this is the working of a switch statement. So what is the switch statement? Switch statement is a multiple if statement. It is executed or it is taken with multiple if statements. Multiple if statements means if the value of the expression or variable is 1, then statement list 1 is executed. If the value of the expression or variable is 2, then second statement is executed. If the value is 3, the third statement is executed, like that. If none of the above values are matched, then default list or default statements are selected. So we may continue in the next class.